This is going to be a brand new house. They're gonna move some dirt away. But this is Cave Springs, where we're ending the tour today in a brand new neighborhood where there's gonna be several hundred homes. The first dozen or so homes are gonna be done in October, November. We're gonna be starting in Siloam Springs, Gentry, going over to Tawnytown, Elm Springs, ending in Cave Springs. We got a map tour going in and out of the map, showing you neighborhoods, showing you Google Street View, everything you want to know, and answering as many questions as we can in one video. So let's go do it. Welcome back to the map. As always, we're going to be going in and out, and so we're going to zoom in today on Gentry. Gentry is over here just north of Siloam Springs on the border of Arkansas and Oklahoma. And this blue ring here you see, that's a 30-minute driving distance. So you can get about 35 minutes, 40 minutes, you're in Bentonville. You're in edge of Springdale, Tawnytown, 35, 40 minutes, you're in Fayetteville. So you're not too far away, but you're out in the country and you got a good distance to drive as far as total miles. But there's pretty lax traffic. So like Gentry to 59, that's all 5-lane highway. 412 all the way out here to Tawnytown, that's all 5-lane highway. And you know, I've brought it up many times, the new highway coming in, the 612. So when that comes in, it just is going to open up Rogers a lot faster. And then getting over here to 612 going up right by the airport as well. So if you're in Gentry, boom, shoot over here to the airport, hit the highway, and you can get places a lot quicker. Granted, Highway 12 here is a 2-lane road. It's small. There's not a whole lot going on. Gentry in itself is pretty small. There's not a whole lot of services here. Let's go back to terrain. So there's a grocery store, which is Harp's grocery store right there. You got Sonic, you got a coffee shop, and McDonald's and a restaurant there. So there's about a half dozen restaurants. There's 3 or 4 gas stations. There's a Ace hardware store. There is a really good restaurant, the Wooden Spoon. Highly recommend that. Very tasty. Other than that, that's about the end of the story for services and things that they offer for, you know, restaurants and such. If you're going for more selection, you're coming down here to Siloam Springs, which we'll talk about in a minute. Lowe's, Super Walmart, all that stuff. Gentry is a pretty small town. There's about 10 to 15,000 people that live there. And as you can see, there's just not a whole lot of city streets. There's not a whole lot of neighborhoods. We got one neighborhood over here that they put in about 4 or 5 years ago. They have some construction, putting in some new neighborhoods, and they're pushing out the chicken farms. That's probably going to be pushed out here in the next few years. Looks like they're constructing something there. So where I was touring was a much newer street, which was right here. So let's jump into me talking about Gentry and the area in the map. Welcome to Gentry, where most of the neighborhoods are going to be like this one right here, as you see in the drone footage. It's a newer street where they're just filling in some gaps in some properties, and they have some really nice neighborhoods. And then you also have a neighborhood that is just like this one, where it's tree covered, it's tree lined, it's older, maybe 20 to 40 years old on the homes. And it's super quiet. It's very peaceful. I say that right as a train horn is going by. And as you saw on the drone footage, or as you're seeing right now, there is a train that goes through downtown Gentry where there's a 4-way stop. There's a Sonic, McDonald's, and a Harp's. And maybe 1 or 2 other restaurants. There's not a whole lot else. There's another half dozen restaurants further down the road, but this is Gentry. It is quiet, it is remote, you're very rural, and it's starting to get some more infrastructure. It's starting to get some more buildings and neighborhoods coming in, just like this one, where you're gonna find 3-4 bedroom homes for under $400,000, and you're gonna be 35 to 40 minutes away from Bentonville or Fayetteville. So it's a very strong option. So let's go check out Siloam Springs. Gentry has a few manufacturing plants. It's real close to Siloam Springs. It has a Little Debbie plant. It has a few other places. There's a power station right here. So there's some industrial blue collar kind of jobs in the area. There's Simmons Chicken Plant just north. So it's got a lot of opportunities for employment. And let's just jump into like the old town streets just so you can get a taste of what it looks like driving down the street in the classic roads that originally started Gentry. So this is one of the original neighborhoods of Gentry. Oh, nice weeping willow there. You got some older ranch style farm homes that just in the neighborhood. Whoa, Shane Shoesons. I think you kind of get the picture. It's just older, smaller, maybe carport, maybe garage. They're going to be built in the 60s, the 50s. Yeah. Whoa, Shane Shoesons again. There we go. There you go. You're getting the picture. So this is Old Town Gentry, and what is that? It's McKee Foods. So yeah, they do a lot of gas station sourcing of the products. And then you have some of the newer neighborhoods that a little bit less flavor in them, actually. So these ones are obviously just being built right across the street from the 90s, 80s and 90s. So Google hasn't driven down that road in a while. So the Gentry, like I said, doesn't have a bunch to offer, but if you're looking for that rural, good value, lower price, let's jump into the prices right quick and show you that. So in that neighborhood I was driving around, you can get a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,700 square foot for $300,000, $295,000. This one is got a nice big back porch, a little shed. This looks like a D.R. Horton home, honestly, I think. I could be wrong. I'm not positive on that. Nice looking place. Looks solid. So to get to that website, you're going to scan this QR code that you see on the screen right now, or you're going to go to the description part of the video, of every video on YouTube, and where you can click on that link and boom, it's going to take you right to here. So where you can get 3 cash offers on your home today. Find out how you can get some quick cash offers that are market value, and then book a Zoom call with us, start your home search, and click start your home search, and it's going to take you to this. And so where you can be poking around and seeing properties in Northwest Arkansas, you can set the parameters of the filters that you want to see. So this one's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, almost 2,300 square feet, probably built in the 60s, maybe 70s. Looks really well done. Nice brick home, big trees. Got some older elements with the railing things in there, but it looks really nice. Somebody's flipped this a little bit. They've taken care of it. It looks sharp. There's elements that maybe are a little bit older, but still, it's a nice looking house from the photos at least. And it's $263,000 for being 40 minutes away from Bentonville, 40 minutes away from Fayetteville. Maybe that's a fit for you and your family, maybe not. All right, enough about Gentry. Let's get down right over here to Siloam, where you're gonna have a hospital, you have a small little airport, you've got right across the street from the hospital, you got the high school, and a beautiful area Siloam Springs is in. They have a great downtown, let me see if I can find it, right here, right by the river, park, a little gazebo right there. There's supposed to be a restaurant, maybe it's closed, but nice little restaurant that was there, and then a few breweries and grills in this area. Let's click on restaurants. Let's see what comes up. Not many in downtown, much less than I remember, but there's a bunch of restaurants all over in Siloam Springs, and it's about 40,000. So as of 2020, it says 17,000 people. So about 20,000 people now, probably. So let's switch over to, oh my word, click on the layers. There we go. Let's get rid of the terrain. So there's a 30-minute drive. You're in Springdale, you're getting a little bit further away. So about a 40-minute drive, you're in Bentonville. 40-minute drive, you're in Fayetteville, downtown. Siloam Springs is a bit over here. Well, make me smaller there. But you've got John Brown University over here. You've got a good amount of resources. You've got McDonald's and Olive Garden, and another restaurant is going in right there. Chili's is going in right there. You got Lowe's, you got Walmart Supercenter, you got some clothing stores. So all your shopping hub right there that you're going to need. And then on the west side of Siloam, it's a little bit less attractive because we've got the casino over here, and just there's some typical businesses that show up around casinos, pawn shops and bail bonds and things like that, that are just a little less valuable, that people don't like a whole lot. It just seems different on that side of town, I'll be honest. Not that it's a bad side of town, just saying it feels different than the east side, which is going to be closer to Springdale, getting closer to the highway. And as you can see, they're building, look at all these neighborhoods they're building here. All right, so there's one section of Siloam Springs, and here's another little neighborhood that I found, a little pocket neighborhood right off the highway, Highway 59. Let's jump into that section and show you that house, which I actually go tour that house. Welcome to Siloam Springs, where in this neighborhood, this is a Roush Coleman Lennar Homes neighborhood. They are going to be building anywhere from 1,000 square feet to 16 to maybe 1,800 square feet, 4-bedroom homes. This one's just almost full. They've got a few more slots, but you can get into an entry-level house at like $267,000, and you're 2 minutes away from Walmart. You're 2 minutes away from getting on 412, and then boom, you're less than 20 minutes into Springdale, wherever you need to go. It is super awesome access. Just like Gentry, this is a small town where you are 5 minutes over there and you're there. Where you are a quick hop, skip, and a jump, and you're where you need to be in town. And if you're going to Bentonville, Siloam Springs, Fayetteville, Tawnytown, whatever, then it is a under 20-minute drive to certain areas. Bentonville is going to be about 35 minutes, depending on which route you take. So this is one neighborhood in Siloam Springs. They've got an older town part of section that there's not many listings that pop up over there usually, but when they do, there's some really cool older homes. And then they've got a whole bunch of areas where Siloam Springs is expanding, putting in new neighborhoods. Actually, there's 280 acres right over here that is for sale that they're probably going to put in for a new neighborhood just like this. It has all the development infrastructure ready for it. Somebody just has to buy it and start building. So Siloam Springs is growing, growing, growing. And the Highway 612, as I've been saying for months and months and months, is coming this way, and it's going to open up Siloam Springs. And this is on the east side of Siloam Springs, closer to Fayetteville, Springdale. So it's really going to be a big value to you getting to where you need to go. Let's go to another neighborhood where we're going to tour a house that's for sale. Great value. Let's go right now. So here we are at Emmeline Street. We're going to tour this place here in just a second. And right down there is a whole bunch of places that they're going to be building this house and a few other models. This is a 4-2, 1,900 square feet for $350,000. So if you're looking for a brand new house that is really well done, fun floor plan, and it looks sharp. This is concrete board. You got board and bat up top, design. We've got, let's look at this. Whoa, board and bat look over here. And then it's horizontal over here. This nice, fun archway right there. It looks sharp. So let's turn this camera around. Now let's go inside. So, very spacious entryway here. You got 9-foot ceilings, and you got 2 of the bedrooms right here. They're a little bit smaller. They're not huge. Fit a full size in here. You have a modest closet. This little dual bar right there. That one's maybe more of an office because it's got the LVP. This one's got carpet. Same size. Same, well, it's a bigger closet. More of a walk-in style. All right, all right. Let me see you. We've got a coat closet there. Oh, look, another closet. Another linen closet right there. It opens up into this living space. You got living room. I don't know, the dining room right here, maybe? And no, dining room's gonna be over there, living room. I don't know. Then you've got the bathroom here. This same countertop is carried throughout. Just your standard full-size bath. Then it goes into the third bedroom, carpeted, feels a little bit bigger. Same size closet as that second one. You got this LVP throughout the rest of the house. Got a gas fireplace over here. They didn't go big on the mantle so that you can actually mount a TV up here, which is kind of nice. Big windows. This is south facing, so you get a lot of light coming in these. There's a big open space. Let's check out the kitchen. You do have a good amount of pantry cabinet space here. And so the pantry goes nice and deep. So that's one, and those are soft close. You got a gas stove. But then you also have a modest pantry right there, maybe for some appliances. And then you got your island. And this is where your fridge would go right there. Boom. So pretty nice layout of a kitchen overlooking the dining room, living room, with a bar. So you have lots of space to prepare things, lots of space to serve things. Over here, we've got the utility room, laundry room, with a nice utility sink, and a hanging bar, and a rack for stuff. And in here, let's open that garage. We got a 7-foot garage door with insulated panels. We got access to the outside. And then your water heater. And this is extra wide. So they've got 2.5 feet on this side over here. And it just feels bigger than my garage for sure. All right, let's show you the primary bedroom, master bedroom, whatever you want to call it. So, really good size. You definitely have a king size over there, a king size over here by the window. And it's got a nice little tray ceiling up here. So for $350,000, this is looking like a really good option for a 4-bedroom home. Fill the spaces. Maybe you got 2 kiddos that needs room and you need an office at home. Standard shower, fiberglass insert shower. You got your toilet, and then you have a pretty sizable master closet here. Lots of built-ins. This is a good space. And this has got some tile in here. Let's check out the backyard right quick. All right. If I can manage the locks. So a good little patio space here. Sitting down, in the sunshine in the evening. And you got a little culvert here that drains that way. But this is a nice quiet area. This is going to be a nice little neighborhood, and the further you are that way, so the quieter from Highway 59 you're gonna be, which is not gonna be a bad thing, but it's gonna give you a little bit of road noise the closer you are to it. So they've got a few different floor plans. They've got 4 houses available right now with really good incentives on interest rates in the 5s. So if you're interested, reach out to us, we'll get you connected. So that pretty much wraps up Siloam Springs. Now we're gonna be heading over to Tawnytown, Springdale, Edge, and then circling up to Cave Springs. So stick around for Cave Springs and Elm Springs. You're gonna wanna see those areas. All right, let's get after it. Now before we leave Siloam Springs, let's show you a few price points. So where we were, the first house, the first little neighborhood, I was saying you can get a brand new house for $275, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet with a warranty. This one's probably a year old, or maybe 2 years old. 1,480 square feet for $255. There's a nice Roush Coleman home, quality built, good finishes. and it's in a great area. You are, no joke, 4 or 5 minutes away from Walmart, across the street basically, right there. You got a Whataburger right there. You got a few other restaurants. So you go through the intersection, boom, you're at Walmart. You're at Aldi's on this side of the street. So you're in a great location. It's actually this field right here. So that's a fantastic neighborhood. Let's go into this older neighborhood. It's kind of fun layout of houses and streets right across the street from the shopping area. This one's 2370 Montclair Avenue. 390, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2,500 square feet. This one looks really cool. Nice old brick house, side load garage. Did some cool back porch stuff. It's very 2007, 2010, somewhere in there. Nice wood floors. Looks like a great house for $390,000. This is just a sample of what you can get in Siloam Springs. Now let's go show you. Right down here are the houses that I was touring. So for $342, I think they actually had a price drop. 4 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,900 square feet. Permanent interest rates low as 5.25. Oh, with their selected lender probably. That's a pretty good deal. So great house. You saw the tour. No, don't need to show you anymore. You know how to get here. Go to the description of the video, click the link there, or scan the QR code when it pops up. All right, let's head on over to Springdale, Tawnytown area. Let's go check it out. Tawnytown, Springdale area, right over here on the west side of Springdale. It is very flat. It's pretty flat over here. Let's go to the terrain. So you got edging into some rolling hills, but you got some flatter spots where they're building in some neighborhoods. Tawnytown was known for its wineries and its grape fields. Every year they have a grape festival that has just turned into a place where the winery samples everything, and there's a carnival going on. It's hosted at the Catholic Church. Really great fun, I think in August, so it's coming up soon. So a great time to grab some carnival stuff and enjoy I love their frozen wine drink. I don't know, Bellini or something like that. Tastes amazing. Definitely a great beverage on a hot day. So a 30-minute drive time can get you a lot of places in Tawnytown. Look at that. All the way up to Bella Vista, down way past Fayetteville, almost all the way over here to Hinesville. So you can get a lot of places in 30 minutes. Plus, you have access to a lot of infrastructure and resources. So Sam's Club is right over here. Sam's Club, you've got a whole bunch of restaurants. You've got a super Walmart right over here, up here in Elm Springs, which we'll be getting to here in a moment. You've got the Harbor neighborhood, which we'll be talking about. So there's a bunch of restaurants. There's a bunch of grocery stores. There's another one. I'm gonna get to it. There it is. There's Harp's grocery store right there. So there's a lot of resources, a lot of benefits in Tawnytown. The only downside, the biggest downside, is 412 right there. It can be a pain because there's a dozen lights getting to the highway, going all the way across, and there's a lot of truck traffic. That's why they're building that highway around the 612. It's going to go all the way around Springdale, so it bypasses, and the truck traffic won't go right through 412. It'll take a lot of traffic off that road, but right now there's a lot of traffic, and so during high times, getting from Tawnytown to Springdale, the interstate, that could be a 20-minute drive, which some people that's not that bad, but for us around here, that's a very frustrating thing, getting stuck at every light. Plus, there's a Chick-fil-A right there, so the Chick-fil-A traffic, people trying to turn in and get into the drive-through, obviously and always is a frustration. All right, so there we've talked about Tawnytown a little bit. Let's jump into the houses in the area. So let me find that right quick. So right here at the base of 612 and 412, where that new interstate's going in, they've built a few houses here. They've built this neighborhood, this Fallen Way, and this on like 1.5 acre, 2 acre lots, sometimes a little bit bigger. I think there's still one available. These ones over here are available, $640,000, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2560. You can fill this in and we'll reach out to you. If not, just hit this X and you can keep searching. Go through the photos. Nice looking brick house. Nice tall ceilings. I like the wood beams. Big kitchen. This is a pretty good value for $640,000 on the edge of Tawnytown. When I was there, you hardly hear, even outside, you hardly hear 412 going by. So inside the house, you're definitely not going to hear it. And then inside this street right here, I actually walked and talked. So let's go there and I'll show you this little road right here. Here we are in Tawnytown. We're on the edge of Tawnytown, closest to Siloam, in a nice, beautiful estate lot neighborhood right next to 412 and the 612 bypass that's getting finished up. These are going to be 2,500 square foot plus homes on acre and a half, 2 acres. They are really beautiful. It's very quiet. Even though 412 is right there, it is very quiet. You're going to get houses like this one, like the ones that you're seeing in the drone footage. Very stunning. It is peaceful here. It is really well done. And you're super close to everything, especially when 612 is done. You're going to have amazing access to Bentonville, Rogers, Lowell area. You won't have to go down 412 and hit all the lights, because that's the worst part about 412 is all the lights on that road. And so you won't be having to deal with that anymore. And then you've got Sam's Club near the highway. You've got a whole bunch of restaurants. You got grocery stores all the way down there to Tawnytown, Springdale area, where we're going to be heading next. So this is just a taste of what the little pocket neighborhoods that you can find in Tawnytown area. You're on the edge of town right now, and across the street in about 4 or 5 years, they're going to be building a Walmart supercenter with a whole bunch of strip malls and everything. So it's going to be beautifully built out. Going to be a different design than any other Walmart. They're putting a lot of innovation into that one apparently. So that's this neighborhood. This is the edge of Tawnytown. Let's go show you Harbor Meadows and that little pocket area that was built in the early 2000s, 2010. It is really cool. So let's go show you that. So there you go. There's the edge of Tawnytown. Let's come over here to the edge of Springdale and Tawnytown. This is going to be Harbor Meadows. This is a development, a PUD, planned urban development. You got the more estate lots over here, the bigger homes over here on the edge up here on Ireland Street. And then it's getting into the smaller and then more cottage style, the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single family homes over here. What makes it unique is it's going to have all your doctor's appointments right here. It's going to have a urgent care. It's going to have a church. You've got your CPA, your doctors, your lawyers, everything within walking distance. So you got your banks, you have Harp's Food Store. Then right across the street, you've got Harbor High School. So you got Harbor High School here, and then there's another school, middle school right there. I think there's another school really close by. There it is, elementary school right there. So you have 3 schools, boom, 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 within walking distance of Harbor, and you have your own amenities and pool and everything. So let's go to me walking around showing you that area. Welcome to the Harbor Meadows neighborhood. This is a bunch of houses as you saw on the map, or as you're gonna see on the map. They got a pond, they've got several ponds. They've got a school right there. There's a high school across the street. There's a middle school over there. I believe there's junior high as well. You've got a grocery store within walking, everything is within walking distance, biking distance. You can drive there in less than 3 minutes. You're 4 minutes from Sam's Club. You're 3 minutes from Chick-fil-A. Like, everything is super proximity. This is one of the most accessible locations, neighborhoods in Northwest Arkansas for getting accessibility to the highway and everything you're gonna need. So it's just pristine in here. These are some older homes. They're about 15 to 20 years old. A lot of them have been updated. A lot of them, some of them have these walking trails right here going through. We're gonna walk over a pond on a bridge. It is just beautiful in here. And you're right over there. You have Brush Creek Golf Course.
And then you have Elmdale Lake that we're gonna go to next. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of wildlife. Got a bunch of geese over here. I don't know if you can see that. And so this is the kind of neighborhood, this is the kind of place that Springdale, Tawnytown has to offer. And it's unique. This is like one of one in Northwest Arkansas that I'm aware of. And so if this is of interest to you, be sure to reach out. Love to connect you with the area and answer any questions. But just take a look at that. That's pretty awesome. All right, let's go to Elmdale Lake. And first, let's talk about it on the map.
So let's give you some samples of what a home inside Harbor Meadows is going for. Again, you can just click on the X. Sample through that. Nice looking place. This is going to be built in 2005, 2007, somewhere in there. This is a good looking place. A little dark. They photographed it a little bit dark. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2872 square feet, $605,000. You got one for $459,000. Oh no. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet. Brick home. Not really a backyard or anything like that. There's going to be maybe a side yard. That's how it's designed. Oh, you got a fenced-in backyard here. A little back patio. Nice looking place for $459,000. In a neighborhood like that, we're walking distance to all the schools that you're going to need to. Plus, you're across the street from Sam's Club, Chick-fil-A, all the things that you might want to be near to. All right, so that's Springdale, Tawnytown, Edge. Let's jump into this neighborhood right across the street, which is going to be Elm Springs, right across this lake. This little Lakeview Estates. So let's go to me walking down that street.
Here we are in Lakeview Estates. So these are going to be 2,000 to 4,000 square foot houses, 3-car garages, 4 or 5-bedroom homes, right next to Lake Elmdale. You're super close to the Elm Springs exit, and you are minutes away from the interstate. You're minutes away from the best Walmart in Northwest Arkansas, the Elm Springs Walmart. And you got all these right there, a whole bunch of restaurants as well. So this is a fantastic location off of a really quiet road. You have fast access to Shaw Park, which we're going to go to soon. You have really close proximity to everything in Springdale, all the schools. Be sure to go check those out. These are going to be built in the 2019 to 2022 range. There's some of them are still getting a little bit of additions on them and whatnot. Very nice homes, very beautiful area. There's a lot of trees, there's a lot of nature around here. There's no big roads, so that's a big plus. So this is one neighborhood that we're going to show you. We're going to hop across on the other side of Highway 112 and show you another neighborhood in Tawnytown, Elm Springs area. So let's go do that.
So Elm Springs is a very small little municipality. It's got a post office and a church, 2 churches. It's got a city park, and the list is done. That's about it. Over here, Elm Springs is more known for its on-ramp, Elm Springs Road, which you're gonna have Walmart Supercenter, probably the best Walmart in the area. They try a lot of stuff there. It's the newest one. You've got all these across the street. You've got a bunch of restaurants, a little medical center, emergency department. So super quick access from Elm Springs, from this neighborhood to the highway, less than 5 minutes. And you are getting access to the interstate. You're getting grocery store. You're getting some good restaurants selections. Plus, you're kind of tucked away over here in a quiet section around the lake. Now, the next neighborhood we popped in at was up here on this hill on Candlelight Circle. So let's go check that out, and the drone footage is pretty awesome.
If Elm Springs was a piece of clothing, it'd be those cargo shorts that just have pockets and pockets and pockets everywhere. This is just one of the, I know it's a dumb joke. I get it, guys. But this is one of those pocket neighborhoods in Elm Springs where there's 30, 40 houses, big, beautiful lots up on top of the hill. And there's 5, 6, 7 of these pocket neighborhoods that you just wouldn't know about if you just drove through Elm Springs. You would have no clue because you would drive through and you blink and you'd sneeze and you'd miss Elm Springs. But then you'd miss all these kind of little pocket neighborhoods. And there's a few that are newer. There's a few that are going in over there and over there. And you'll see them. I'll point them out on the map, or I already did. So that is Elm Springs. Granted, they're doing a roof job right there, so it's a little bit noisy. But it's super peaceful, very quiet. There's no road noise when the air gun's not going off. There's no traffic. So this is just a really good sample of what you can get in Elm Springs. These are gonna be in the 700s, 800s, maybe a little bit higher, depending on the size and such. I know that there's one in Elm Springs that was like $2.2 million, and it was big, and it was, what was it, 8 bedrooms, 8,000 square feet, something like that. It was enormous, humongous, whatever the word is. So next is gonna be Shaw Park. I'm gonna talk about that at the map, and then we're gonna go to Cave Springs. And this is the area that is most desired in Northwest Arkansas. It is absolutely peaceful, set aside, unique in Northwest Arkansas. So you wanna stick around for that.
So right here is downtown Elm Springs, and for the little house on the main strip, $300,000. This one's right off the main road as well. So 786, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,900 square feet. But I think you get some land with it. But the one, here's more of a neighborhood house over here off of Elm Springs Road. Galahad Drive, right by, it's gonna be Elm Springs, Cave Springs? What town is this? Yeah, it's gonna be Elm Springs. This one's gonna be a much larger home. 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath, 3,800 square feet almost. This is a big house. This is in, what was it, King Arthur Court or something like that, the neighborhood. And then over here, this is also Elm Springs right here, so a little bit higher priced, Red Oak Loop, 5-bedroom, 3.5 bath, almost 4,000 square feet. Holy smokes. It's a big house. And there's one photo loading for some reason. But, so there's some homes in Elm Springs. And again, you can scan the QR code that's up on the screen and you can get to this right here. Or if you want to click on the description in the on the YouTube video, click on the description and it's going to take you right there to here. Click on Start Your Home Search and you can get to this website where you can start browsing around Northwest Arkansas. All right, let's go to our last section, Cave Springs. So Cave Springs right here covers a lot bigger area, but Cave Springs is well known for being one of the more quiet towns in Northwest Arkansas. You do have to go through there right now to get to the airport. So there's a good amount of going to the airport traffic, but as soon as 412 and 612, let's go to where the interstate's gonna be, show you that again. So currently you're coming up through 112, turn at Cave Springs, you get to the airport. As soon as this goes in, it's going to bypass a lot of that excess unneeded traffic through Cave Springs. And so it's going to be a much more quiet town again. They're building a lot of neighborhoods. It is commonly in the top 3 safest towns, sometimes top 2 safest towns in all of Arkansas, lowest crime rate. Right over here is where I jump into the neighborhood and walk around a little bit talking about that and where I started out the video on that dirt pile. So let's go check it out.
Cave Springs is still building. There's a bunch in this neighborhood. There's going to be probably several hundred in this neighborhood. And they're just starting the first few. They're going to be ready in November, October area. This is going to be a spectacular location because you are 15 minutes away from Bentonville, you're 8 minutes away from the interstate, you're 10 minutes away from grocery stores and the like. So this is going to be extremely quiet because you're not close to any roads, you're not close to any highways. You're kind of tucked away back in here. These are going to be 1,800 to 3,000 square foot homes in Cave Springs, which is one of the most desired neighborhoods in Northwest Arkansas and towns, really. That's one of the safest towns in Northwest Arkansas. And you're set aside over here behind another neighborhood. It's just really nice. And it's really gonna be really, really well done. Plus, you are gonna be 15 minutes, under 20 minutes to the airport. So this is gonna be a great location. I was thinking that they had a little bit more. There's only one that has sticks up over there. Everything else is just concrete foundations. But as you saw on the, or you're about to see on the map, I'm gonna go in and look at the floor plans of these a little bit, kind of show you what the prices you're gonna get and the area. So let's go to the map right now.
As you can see, just by the numbers on the screen, as we're looking at, these are the homes that in that neighborhood I was talking about. 500, 82,000. You've got 663 for 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,600 square feet for a brand new home. You've got 1 million. You got 329, 369, 450, 555. There's a wide variety here in Cave Springs of prices. The standard average price is going to be above $400,000 just because of that high desired area. If you come down Lowell Avenue, you're going to be, boom, you're going to be hitting the highway, big gas station right there, big truck stop. It's going to be a nice easy access. It's a 2-lane road all the way to the highway. And if you're going to Bentonville, you're just going to take 112 going north, and in under 20 minutes with limited traffic, you're going to be in downtown Bentonville, headed over to the Walmart headquarters or wherever you need to go, get to those bike trails. So again, reach out to us if you have any questions, scan the QR code, and we'd love to connect with you, answering your questions. And until the next video, stay tuned and hit all the YouTube buttons. We'll see you on the next one.